What do you want me to talk about? The shooting that happened in Uvalde? Like, I'm well aware of what happened. I'm well aware of in this country that there has been a lot more mass shootings in the past 20, 30 years than there has been ever. I've already addressed this in many, many videos now. So the video you're commenting on had nothing to do about the gun laws and the gun situations and shootings that happened in this country. I'm well aware that there's a problem in this country. I'm a Second Amendment holder in my household, and let me tell you, the government is not going to tell me or take away my right to protect myself or my family. You want to talk about school shootings and what's happening in this country with the mental decline? I'm going to go right back to what I said. When I was growing up, we had guys that had guns in their cars in their gun racks, and we never had school shootings. But until then, when I grew up versus how we are now, the mental health in this country has gone straight down the shitter, in case you haven't noticed that. So you want to stop school shootings, get the mental health under control, and then start getting police officers back in our schools and get rid of these gun-free zones. No, I don't think you should be arming teachers. However, if you do have a teacher that has a licensed carry in this state that they live in, and they want to have something there to protect themselves or protect the kids that go to their classroom, if the state and the people of that state vote to allow that, then I'm going to be okay with it too. Do I think that everyone should be carrying guns? No. I think you should be licensed. You should have your proper background checks, which I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of background checks. There are a lot of gun laws that you have to go through to get guns, but you guys don't want to hear that. You just want to take everybody's guns away, and that's going to magically stop mental people from killing people. It's just not. Yeah, I know that's what makes it easy to say, to try to think that you're doing something, but you're not. Taking away people's rights because other people abuse those rights doesn't mean that we should suffer because of their consequences. That's how this works. And I know you doesn't want to hear that because it goes against all the politicians that are out there calling gun control, gun control. It's not about gun control, it's about control. That's what it's about. The reason they can't do anything is because our society is probably one of the most armed societies in the world, and they know that, and they're not just going to give up their weapons. This is what I'm going to say. You want to stop the school shootings, get the mental health under control first and foremost, and then second of all, get rid of the gun-free zones and start shoring up school security. If we can secure our politicians, our federal buildings, our banks, our money with people with guns, why are we not securing their most valuable asset, our children, with guns? But it's, like I said, my son went to a private school because I saw the way this school and the indoctrination was happening early before it even got crazy like it has been the past 2 years. And I put him in a private school, and we, the parents, paid for armed security outside of that gate. Before we went in there to go pick my kid up, I was stopped at that gate by armed security. They asked who I was. I had to show them my ID. They called into the school. The school then called back and said, yes, she's good. She's allowed to come in. You see how that works? You want to know what never happened at my son's school? A school shooting. Literally never. In the history of the school. Ever. Okay? I also live here in Florida. We have a constitutional carry where people are allowed to carry guns in this state. Here's the thing. Do I think that this stuff is a problem? Of course it's a problem. Do I want to see children being killed by mental people? Because let's be real, it's not some sane person that's walking into a school wanting to murder people. It's someone that's got mental illness, and it's someone that wants to hurt people. Listen, we outlaw drugs all the time. Drugs are illegal. People still take drugs. You know what I mean? Driving while drinking. Illegal. People still do it. You just magically think that you're going to have some politician write up some new fancy gun law so he can get votes, because that's what it's all about. It's not really about stopping it, because if it was stopping about it, Senator Ted Cruz wrote a bill that would have shored up school security, had the funding to do so, okay? Had the funding, and every Democrat voted no on that bill, because it's not about that. It's about political grandstanding, like, oh, we're going to help solve the school shootings by banning all guns. And 90% of the shootings that happen aren't from AR-15s or assault rifles, which doesn't even mean anything because it's not really a real term, but whatever. It's done with handguns. And that's the thing. This is why Republicans are so against it, because it starts with assault rifles or military-style weapons, and then it keeps going and going and going, because as soon as you get one, and as soon as you give up one of those rights, do not think for 1 second they're not going to be coming for the rest of them. In case you haven't noticed, a lot of our constitutional rights are under attack right now in this country by politicians that are grandstanding for votes. And that's all that it is. So You want to know how to stop the school shootings? Get the mental health under control first and foremost, because we all know sane people aren't walking into schools wanting to kill people. And number two, start putting active military or retired military or police into school. And before you say, well, I don't want to send my kid to a gun war zone, apparently it already is. And I would much rather my kid walking to school with armed security that knows how to deal with a threat and eliminate a threat immediately before I see any more blood on the ground in schools. That's what I would say. So absolutely, retired military, retired police officers, or active, have them start shoring up at each one of these schools and see how much the school shootings drop. Why wouldn't politicians get behind that? Did you ever ask yourself that? No, because it's much easier to pander and gaslight the people going, I'm going to take care of the gun problem. I'm going to write a bill. We have all kinds of bills about gun problems. We have all kinds of bills about, background checks and red laws and all of that stuff. And these things continue to happen. The only way it's going to stop happening is to get rid of the gun-free zones, get the mental health under control, and start shoring up our school security. And if that means metal detectors before you walk in that door, then that's what it means. Because at this point, we protect all of our important politicians, celebrities, banks, you name it, federal buildings, city buildings with men with guns and and metal detectors. So if we're going to protect all of these things that you and I deem important with men with guns that know how to use them and eliminate threats, then why wouldn't we protect our most valuable asset, our children? Okay? So I don't know really what you want me to say about the Uvalde shooting. I can name 5,000 Uvalde shootings, and I can name hundreds of kids that have been killed. The only way this stops is if we start combating the problem as it's being shown to us. And some politician, I'm sorry, standing behind a podium telling you he's going to write some new piece of paper that's going to magically stop school shootings, if you believe that, you're more gullible than I thought you were. Shore up the schools, get rid of the gun-free zones, and then, and only then, will you stop seeing this nonsense happen. You think I like that? No, but I am not willing to give up my personal protection for myself and my family because of somebody else's mental issues, okay? So you're not going to shame me for that decision. I don't care. It is my constitutional right that I am able to protect myself and my family. And just because somebody else wants to go and break the law, I'm not going to be punished because of that. I would gladly stand in front of my son's school strapped to the nines if it meant another child didn't get killed. But these politicians don't care about that. They care about getting your vote, and they care by doing that by telling you what you want to hear. Stop being gullible. Stop listening to these politicians gaslight and pander to you for votes, because if they wanted to stop school shooting, they would have all signed yes to Senator Ted Cruz's bill when he showed up with it, basically doing everything that I just listed in this video, and included the funding to do it. So what else do you want to talk about, my guy?